Welcome to H-Frame, the only comprehensive, unofficial guide to vintage Black & Decker Workmates. The website is hframe with a hyphen .weebly.com, where you'll find my in-depth documentation, over 60 web pages, over 100 PDF documents, over 500 photographs, and still growing. This video is an introduction to and a brief history of the Black & Decker Workmate 79-001 and the models that preceded it. The 79-001 was the first Workmate sold in the United States and Canada. However, the Workmate portable folding workbench and vise was invented in the 1960s in England by Ron Hickman, whose company Mate Tools produced and sold it in the UK starting in 1968 as simply the Workmate. No model name, no model number. Although his original model did fold up for transport or storage, it had no legs, so it was limited to a sawhorse height of 23 inches. I don't have one of those Workmates to show you, but this is the front of the promotional brochure for it from Mate Tools. You can see that you can be twice the man with your Workmate. You can see from the picture here, it has a plywood base board, and it has the recognizable vise jaw top. In 1971, Hickman reached a licensing agreement with Black & Decker, allowing them to sell this original model with Mate Tools manufacturing it for them. At this point, Black & Decker gave the Workmate a model number, the WM125. This appeared on a label on the Workmate, but as far as I can tell, they never used it in their advertising. During 1971, going into 1972, Hickman was busy designing an improved dual height Workmate with the addition of folding legs. In mid-1972, Hickman discontinued manufacturing of the original Workmate, and in late 1972, Black & Decker began manufacturing and selling the improved version as the WM325 in the UK, where it was a hit. Perhaps the most recognizable feature of Ron Hickman's original Workmate and many of its descendants is the pair of pivoting metal frames shaped like the letter H. Hickman's literature referred to these as the legs or leg castings, but very soon they became known as H-frames. On the earliest 79-001s, the H-frames were made of cast aluminum, but they eventually changed to stamped steel as a cost-saving measure in December 1977. My website and YouTube channel get their name from this hallmark of the original Workmate design. Did you know that an orbital sander was partially responsible for the Workmate's success in North America? Well, the story starts when Black & Decker opened a Canadian factory in Brockville, Ontario in 1957. Jump forward to 1968, when the manufacturing of the company's orbital sanders was moved from the US to Brockville, and those tools became highly successful worldwide for Black & Decker. Based on the success of the sander production, Brockville was able to establish its own product development group in 1974. This group was the part of the company that saw that the Workmate, which had been selling extremely well in the UK since 1972, had potential in the North American market. So that's how the Workmate 79001 started out, with the Type E that you see here, introduced as a market test to evaluate demand in North America. It was actually the UK model WM325 that I mentioned earlier, made in Black & Decker's factory in Spennymoor, England, but relabeled as the 79001 Type E for the marketing test in the US. In spite of extensive research, I've been unable to find any reliable record of just when this market test was. As far as I can tell, the Type E never appeared in any newspaper, magazine, or TV ad, any product review, or any Black & Decker catalog in the US. My best guess for the marketing test is some portion of the first 3 quarters of 1974. I do have Black & Decker's instruction manual for the Type E, along with a warranty card and a part diagram, all of which I found at a local estate sale a few years ago. Unfortunately, there was no Workmate at the sale, leaving me wondering where it wound up. I also have a Black & Decker catalog for the UK from 1975 that shows the WM325 right here. And it also shows the all-steel WM525 that was introduced in November 1973, but never brought to the US. The marketing test with the Type E was hugely successful. For production in North America, the product development group in Brockville redesigned the Workmate with some influence from the latch mechanism of the all-steel UK model WM25 that you just saw in that catalog. The new 79001 Type 1 that you're looking at here replaced most of the cast aluminum of the UK model with steel stampings, but kept the aluminum H-frames. In spite of the pessimistic warnings from Black & Decker's marketing group in the US, the company spent $4.5 million tooling up to manufacture the Workmate in Brockville. By October 1974, Black & Decker was producing the first North American Workmates in Brockville. The gamble paid off, and very quickly the Workmate became one of the most successful products in Black & Decker's history. The first appearance of the 79001 in print was in Black & Decker's Power Tools catalog for 1975, which was published in October 1974. This is what you see here. It was given a full page on the inside back cover. Its first appearance in an advertisement of any kind was on October 23rd, 1974, in the Montreal Star newspaper, which you see here. And the last document I have here to show you, this is the instruction manual for the 79001 Type 1. During production of the 79001 Type 1, there was only one minor change to the Workmate, a switch from 13-ply plywood for the jaws to 9-ply plywood. However, after only 6 months of production of the Type 1, it was replaced by the Type 2, which came out in May of 1975. The Type 2 was manufactured for over 2 years, the longest production period of all 10 types, during which it accumulated more than a dozen changes. This is a Type 2 that you're looking at here. This is about a mid-production run model of the Type 2. The Type 2 is now the most commonly found type of all the 79001s, representing about 43% of all of the 79001s that are found today. During the Type 2 production, Black & Decker did probably their most extensive promotional work. This is a 4-page color brochure devoted strictly to the Type 2 that they put out in 1975. Possibly one of the most elaborate advertising items that they produced for any product in their history, I suspect. From 1974 to 1982, the Model 79001 evolved through a total of 10 versions designated by Black & Decker as the types E up through 9. With a couple of minor exceptions, Black & Decker didn't show the type numbers in their catalogs, ads, or other literature, although they did mark the type number on the Workmates themselves. Black & Decker also rarely mentioned the changes that they were making between types. It was nothing like the automobile marketing of the day, where manufacturers boldly touted new features and styling at every model changeover. Many of the changes appear to have been intended primarily to reduce costs. So it's possible Black & Decker didn't want to draw attention to those changes. I'll end this video here, but remind you that in my other videos and at my website, you can learn practically every last detail about the original Black & Decker Workmates, including the 79001 and some coverage of other models from both the US and the UK. Before I close, I want to take a minute to tell you that there is some misidentification of early Workmates to watch out for on the internet. Unfortunately, I've come across websites and videos that make totally incorrect statements about the Workmates they are showing you. For example, I have seen the 79001 Type 2 appear several times on YouTube videos, identified variously as a Workmate 625 or a 225, both of which are entirely different models that only has a passing resemblance to. Once one person publishes a mistake like that, others will come across it, accept it as true, and repeat it on their own video or website, so then the error gets perpetuated. My website and videos are carefully researched and documented, so you can rely on them for accurate info about vintage Workmates. I owe a lot of this to not only my independent research, but also to assistance from owners who are enthusiastic about their Workmates and contact me, provide me information, provide me photographs. Um, so thanks for watching. And if you find any errors in what I'm presenting, please let me know.